This is TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. And the State of the Saints podcast is brought to you by Manscaped.com. Over 2 million men worldwide choose Manscaped for all their below-the-waist needs. For those that love the Lawnmower 3.0, well, I got news for you. The Manscaped engineering team has confirmed that they have successfully created the Lawnmower 4.0. The Lawnmower 4.0 gives you the ability to turn the 4000K LED spotlight on and off when needed for a more precise shave. The new trimmer even allows you to customize your trim all through additional guards lengths, sizes 1 through 4. And looks-wise, it's sleek with a two-tone matte and gloss finish, even features a hot foil stamp, black chrome Manscaped logo. Show your mower off loud and proud. Go to manscaped.com, use the promo code State of Saints, and you will save 20% off of the Lawnmower 4.0 as well as other Manscaped items. That's manscaped.com. Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. And I want to say thank you all for checking your boy out on a Saturday night. And I know some of you are probably wondering, what is the State of the Saints podcast doing on a Saturday night? Well, the reason why is because, I haven't had some shows for the last couple of days, and, some things have come up. On yesterday, right after I appeared on 103.7 The Game with Raymond Parks, the third RP3 and company, I was supposed to, do a show. But my wife, she decided to go to a store called Home Goods. Some of you probably heard of it. And she bought a entertainment center. And she came up in the house and she told me, look, I bought this entertainment center and we got to go and get it. So I was like, wow. Then we end up going there, and then we end up going to Home Depot, and then we had to go get my son, and then it turned into a whole family affair, especially since my wife, she took a booster shot and she started to feel a little funny. Y'all know how those second shots are for those that took vaccines. So my wife, she was having those symptoms, and it just didn't feel right to do a show at that point. So I decided to do one today. I don't feel bad about telling you all that story because y'all my family. So I pretty much tell y'all everything for the most part what's going on. But thank y'all so much for checking out the show. We're going to be talking about the cornerback position of the New Orleans Saints, and should they make some trades in order to bring in another cornerback. But before I get started and talk about that, I want to say happy birthday, happy early birthday to Chemo. I see Chemo is going to have his birthday on tomorrow, so happy birthday to you, my friend. Thank you for your support, man, always showing love, support to the State of the Saints podcast. Really do appreciate that. But let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the cornerback position. Man, this is tough right here because I understand that the New Orleans Saints, they need a little bit more depth at the cornerback position, but to say that I feel the same way about our cornerback position now as I felt in the offseason, it's like completely different. The reason I feel this way is because I actually seen a lot of growth and development from the young cornerbacks that we have on this team. I mean, people laugh and they can make fun of Ken Crawley all they want to, but the guy really stepped up and he really showed us a different side of him, a side we haven't seen since 2017. And we see Paulson Adebo being drafted in the third round by the New Orleans Saints. And he has been everything that we wanted him to be and more. So it's hard for me to sit up here today as I'm doing the show September the 4th on a Saturday night and say that I feel the same way that we need to go out here and just move heaven and earth in order for us to get a cornerback via trade. Now, if there's a cornerback out there that's available that we can bring in for depth reasons, right? Then I'm all for that, right? Because you have some guys that end up being injured, going on injury reserve, or they just didn't pan out. I just feel like the Saints need to go a different route. Like, I feel very comfortable if Paulson Adebo is on the opposite side of Marshawn Lattimore to start the season. And I'm prepared that the guy's probably going to have some growing pains and he's probably going to make some mistakes. But I think he's going to make better plays than he does not making better plays, okay? I feel like he's going to make really good plays. So I really feel like the route that they need to go is possibly signing somebody in free agency. Somebody maybe like a Desmond Trufant, somebody maybe like a Josh Norman, according to Saints Wire. I kind of agree with them on that particular standpoint. I was looking at an article from Saints Wire. Y'all can check it out. But I look at somebody like Desmond Trufant, who I feel like would be a good fit for the New Orleans Saints, a guy that can play on the outside as well as the inside and the nickel. And I think that he can be a guy that can rotate with guys like Paulson Adebo, Ken Crawley. I think he can do a really good job. I don't feel like the Saints need to go out here and spend a whole bunch of money or try to bring in somebody that's going to cost them a lot of money in order for them to bring in. I hear people talking about Stefan Gilmore. I'm reading some news out there, the Boston newspapers that's going on. They talking about him being traded after he gets off the PUP list. He would be a really good fit. He definitely would. He would be a good fit for the New Orleans Saints. He definitely would solidify them on the opposite side of Marshawn Lattimore. But I just feel like, looking at a guy like Stefan Gilmore, having those issues out there with the Patriots is about money. And we know that the Saints don't have that much money to spend. So this would be kind of like a mercenary deal if they were to get Stefan Gilmore. Somebody else that I was thinking about, somebody like Dre Kirkpatrick. The Saints called him in earlier in the offseason. They couldn't find the right numbers. He's still out there on the street. So why not try to get somebody like that? But I don't feel like the Saints need to really go out here and trade for a cornerback. I think that they have some guys that can fill that role just fine. Now, the only issue that I have is from depth purposes. Purposes. I can't even talk. But anyway, depth is my main concern. All right. So if they can get a little bit more depth at the cornerback position, I think that would be sufficient. But I'm not concerned about that. And I just think that for those that are still talking about cornerback, I just think that they're actually running with a narrative that been carried over from the offseason. If you've been watching Saints football, if you've been looking at training camp reports, if you've been reading some of the reports, and if you have seen some of the preseason games, I think that a lot of these young guys have put my mind at ease as a fan, and I think they should have put your mind at ease as a fan that they can actually get the job done. So that's the way I feel about it. Don't think the Saints need to trade for a cornerback. If they want to go out in free agency and find one, I wouldn't be mad at that. I think that would be more beneficial because to me, I think you actually have a number 2 corner in Paulson Adebo. The only thing is he needs experience. But let me go ahead and read some of your comments. Thank you all so much once again. Those that are in the chat, appreciate it. I'm start with Chosen. Chosen says you've been dealing with a lot. His mom has passed away from COVID and working late hours. Hurricane Ida left us with no power, but I'm still here, brother. Man, Chosen, I'm sorry to hear that about your mom, man. May she rest in peace. And it's tough out here, man. Especially dealing with the hurricane and stuff like that. And I mean, I know from personal experience. I know 3 people that lost their lives due to COVID, like recently, like over the last couple months. And I'm sorry to hear those type of cases going on and situations going on, man. I'm sorry about that. Hurricane Ida is going on, it's still, affecting Louisiana Gulf Coast region. People still without power. It's just tough, man. But we're gonna get through this together. We're gonna get through this together. And the trials and tribulations that we face in life are never easy, but they're there for God to manifest his power, number one, and number two, for us to grow and learn from those situations. We all go through trials, right? And sometimes those trials that we go through aren't always, our fault, right? I think about the book of Job. Like, Job was perfect and upright. That's how the Bible started it off, right? He was perfect and upright. But they said that, he feared God, he stayed away from evil. Yet all these different things happened to Job. But why did it happen? Is it because Job did something wrong? No. It's because God wanted to manifest his power, and he believed that Job would be stronger in the process. And God gave him more than what he asked for, in the end. He got more than what he lost. And sometimes, like, we can't fill that void of what we actually lost, but we become stronger. And we also become testimony material to those people out there that go through the same situations in life. Like, I haven't been through Hurricane Ida, but I know what it feels like to lose everything. I remember, leaving Louisiana for the last time, thinking I was gonna come back just like it was ever, any other storm. But then, every time a hurricane hits, my mind rolls back to that point when you just feel defenseless. And I go down there now and I love it, but I go back and I look at houses that aren't there anymore, schools that I went to that aren't there anymore. And like I said, my heart is like always in New Orleans. Like, I don't care where I go in this world, I'm from the city. I know that's a little bit of a long speech, but that's just the way I feel. Um, my heart is where everybody out there that's affected by Hurricane Ida, those that are lost individuals due to COVID-19. Like I said, we're going to get through this together. But, I don't understand why God does things sometimes. Sometimes we find ourselves searching for answers for a long time. But I do know in the end, he manifests his power and we realize what he does. And it's a beautiful thing. Brian says 100% official State of the Saints podcast. Appreciate that, Brian. Chosen says prayers up for you and your family. My condolences. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Keen Arthur says, TJ, what cornerback should we target, or should we go get Michael Gallup? Michael Gallup is going to be a guy that's going to demand a lot of money in free agency whenever he becomes a free agent. He's a special player. I think he can be a number one on some teams in the NFL. Home Goods got good stuff. Marshalls, TJ Maxx got good stuff. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do, and my wife knows very well because she spends 1 to 2 hours in there every time she's off work. Okay. TJ, what assets are you willing to part with to get a corner? I'm not willing to part with anything, Keen Arthur. I just don't feel like the Saints need to move heaven and earth. Now, if you would have asked me this earlier, like, in the offseason process, I probably would have had something for you, but I don't think they need to move anything, in my opinion. Kim says, who that? Vito says, happy birthday. I guess giving a shout out to Chemo there. We reached the portion where we're telling everyone happy birthday, including my sister, man. Shouts out to my sister Paige, who don't really know that much about football. She tells me she don't know what's going on, but she still supports, man. And y'all, and speaking of support, man, y'all check out my sister. She has an embroidery company called Designs by Casey Lawrence. She does outstanding work, man. Some of y'all probably seen like the duffel bag that that I put online when I was traveling, when I went to Puerto Rico for my wedding anniversary. My sister actually designed that, as well as some other things that I got coming that she is making for me right now. So Designs by Casey Lauren, y'all check it out. If you need some embroidery, some stuff stitched up for that special someone, or some stuff for yourself, like, hit up. TJ, we literally only have 3 on the depth chart. Yeah, but the Saints play defense a little bit different. Like they have guys that can like kind of be kind of versatile. Like you got CJ Garner Johnson that can play both safety and corner. You got PJ Williams that can play both safety and corner. The only issue is the guys that can play on the outside consistently. That's where the issue comes in. I appreciate y'all. Means a lot for real, for real. Love y'all, man. Appreciate that, chemo, man. Hope you have a very blessed birthday, my friend. Lattimore not being suspended helps a lot. Yeah, but cornerback position is a tough position, man. And actually got to go out there and play 17 games. And let's just be real, man. I like Lattimore a lot, but Lattimore, I have to think, man, probably for the exception of his not even his rookie season. You know, like he hasn't played a whole 16-game season. He's missed games. So you need some guys that can be able to go out there in case, you know, he missed some games, you know, they can pick up the slack. Watching college football, my dad and I, but the OG knows when the State of the Saints is on live, you can reset it, rest assured that I'll be here. Well, you know, I mean, look, I understand college football is on, and like this is very unconventional for me to be doing a show, you know, on a Saturday. So I can understand that college football is on right now. Had some games that was pretty good today. Shouts out to Tulane, played Oklahoma pretty tough, and you know, you got teams that don't. They're always oversell and underdeliver, like the Miami Hurricanes every year, getting blown out by Alabama. So you know, it's interesting, man. It's an interesting college football season. I'm glad football is back, and this is going to be the last weekend for a long time. We'll be without NFL football, so it's going to be fun. TJ Josh Norman got that bag after one good year in Carolina and fell all the way off. Yeah, man. I mean, look, I ain't gonna lie. Like the year he got that big deal in Washington, he played pretty good, but then I just feel like he just kind of started you know, spending that money, and you know, you can really tell what a guy is made of and how special a guy really is when they start to get paid. I think that really tells the type of guy and type of person that they are. Like when they running with empty pockets, when they defending with empty pockets, you know, it's easy, you know. But when you out there and you're living comfortably and you can eat wherever you want and you can drive whatever you want, like that tells you the type of player that person really is to me. But all is well. My dad been here with me since last Friday night because y'all know that Kenner, Louisiana, been without power. But possible it will be back on in the coming weeks. So keep praying. Yeah, I mean, I've been hearing some people got some power. I was looking at John DeShazer. Shouts out to JD, seeing he got his power back. The only problem I have when it comes to Louisiana, and I don't care if I tick some people off, I just don't like how they just cater to downtown area and they just forget about the people that, you know, that live in the town. All right. Look, I understand. Look, I think the French Quarters was the one that got their lights first. You know, I just, man, it's just something weird about that whole situation. It's just funny to me, and I don't want this to happen. Like, don't take this personal. Don't take this personal. But I just gotta say this. I just find it very ironic and very weird that the French Quarter is like, I don't know, a half a mile away from the Mississippi River. But yet when it rains and they have real bad storms, y'all notice like it never really flood. Like it never like really like it never floods to a point where it floods like when you're in the 9th ward or the 7th ward or the 8th ward. Like it never flood like that. Isn't that weird? Like if it flood, it'd be like up to a person's ankles. But in other parts of the city, like I mean, the water be over their house. Like when you think if you're right down the street from the Mississippi River Bridge or the Mississippi River, when you think that it would have more water engulf that area more so than, I don't know, maybe the 9th ward where they probably just got the industrial canal. I'm just saying, it's just funny to me. I mean, take it for what it is. It just seemed like that they have a certain agenda, and I don't like it. The people in this town, they need the lights first. Like who cares that a person won't shake their behind, you know what I'm saying, at 2 or 3 in the morning? Like you don't need to be out there no way. Let's put some of the lights on in the 9th ward, in the 8th ward, in the 7th ward, Gentilly area. You know what I'm saying? Like Legion Fields, put it over there. Like let's get our lights on first before we start looking at that. Ain't nobody going downtown. Ain't nobody shopping. But people need to cook. You know what I'm saying? Like people need to run that AC. Like, come on, man. Like, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just keeping it 100 here, folks. I'm just keeping 100. Brian says, why can't we use somebody from the practice squad? I'm pretty sure they can, Brian, but you need some veteran. You need some veterans in your secondary too. You don't want to just constantly be relying on young guys. You need some veterans out there as well, and get some guys that with some football experience, man. The guys that played on Sundays, for a few years, still got a little tread on the tires. Already read that. Let's see. I like Drake Kirkpatrick. TJ, does he have anything left in the tank? Going to have to run with some speedsters. Yeah, I mean, he did a good job last year with the Cardinals. He did a formidable job. They wanted him to re-sign with them, but I guess the numbers didn't line up. So yeah, he still got something left. Is your family staying with you from your grandmom, your mom and dad, brothers and sisters? No, they're not. Like my family is fine. My brother EJ, he's the only family member really I have that still stays in New Orleans area. Him and his family went to Austin, Texas. My mom is out there in Vicksburg, Mississippi. I think they had some real bad wind and some rain. I think some power got knocked out for a couple of hours, but I mean, it wasn't like nothing like, just too serious. No trade, but we do need a little more depth there. Paulson Adebo will definitely get tested week 1, though, but it will only make him better. Yeah, I like him, though, Kim. I think that guy's smart, and I think he's going to be a really good football player. I think he's going to be really good for the New Orleans Saints. Saints will be playing in Jacksonville. I will definitely be there supporting our Saints. We need all the support. Love to everyone back home dealing with the aftermath of the hurricane. Yeah, Vito. Yeah, I'm glad that you can be there. Man, honestly, I mean, I don't know. I'm still up in there. I do want to go. I ain't gonna lie to you. Jacksonville ain't number like 5 hours from me. So and I do have a brother-in-law that's in the Navy that's stationed in, he's stationed in Orange, Florida, which is not that far from Jacksonville. It's probably like about 15 minutes. So that would be interesting. I would love to go to that game. I ain't gonna lie. I got bad toothache tonight. It's painful. I hope it gets better. Yeah, man. I hope you feel better, man. Get yourself some oral gel to try to, and make sure you like put something in your mouth, to make sure you ain't getting no air up in that thing. Because if you do, boy, you ever had a toothache on like a cold day? My goodness, that's like the worst feeling in the world, man. Do you think the NFL should have a draft lottery? No, I do not. I don't think they should. I don't think that it's like how it is in basketball. Basketball, I feel like they need a little bit of a lottery. Football, I don't think it is to that particular point. I don't think that it would. I mean, it would make it interesting, but I don't think that it needs to get to that point. Ghostface, thank you very much for the $20. Says who that TJ Ghostface. Thank you so much, man. And once again, I apologize for not reading your comments on one episode, man. But I read it on the next one. I'm try to get read as many as I can, and especially like the people that donate. Sometimes I probably stroll and I probably forget it or don't see it. But I do apologize, man. I appreciate you donating and thank you for the support. Chosen says, thank you, all love and respect to you all. Yeah, man. Respect to you too. Hey, who that's? Is it true we're trading Michael Thomas? It wouldn't be very smart. I don't think we are, though we don't need a comeback, but we do got one. Well, look, nobody's trading Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas is going to stay with the Saints. All the issues, it seemed like they're being resolved, and that's a good thing. He's on the pup list, which means he's going to miss about 6 games, which is understandable. And everybody was kind of, kind of bracing himself for him anyway. but he's there, and I don't. There's no trade. There's no trade for Michael Thomas. Swag fan said Job had pride in his heart, and therefore he was brought low and humbled. And once he was humbled, he was restored. Uh, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, the thing about it was, I mean, Job was like I said, he was a perfect man, but and he was tested. There was a so-called, there was a conversation between God and Satan. And Satan said the only reason why he serves you is because you put this hedge around him. You protect him. Like, move this hedge, and I guarantee he's gonna curse you to your face. So I mean, I just look at that metaphor of, sometimes God put a hedge around us when we're comfortable, when we're living right, when we sleeping on silk sheets, so to speak, and everything going right in our life, but all of a sudden, when the storm and rain comes, that's where the real test comes. And we've all been tested in certain ways, like some of us are probably going through tests right now. Some of us are dealing with bills and, all type of other personal struggles, especially, those that are dealing with the hurricane. And, that sometimes that can represent that hedge being removed. And what are you going to do in those tough times? What are you going to do? Are you going to, shiver in a corner in a fetal position, or are you going to find a breakthrough? Or are you going to try to find hope in those hopeless times? Hopefully you can find hope in those hopeless times, because I can tell you, you're going to become much stronger in the process. I mean, but that's just the way things are sometimes. We ask the question, why me, so many times? Like, right? Why is this happening to me? But sometimes it's not about you. It's about your future. It's about the people that you're going to meet in the future. It's about the kids that you're going to have in the future. It's about the kids' trials and tribulations that they're going to talk to you about in the future. Sometimes our heartbreak and our headaches are not for us. They're for others. It's a tough cross to bear, but it's true. Greg, take 2 extra strength Tylenol and get that tooth fixed. Yeah, man. Definitely got to do that. TJ, how balanced do you believe the offense will be? I think you're going to see a little bit more of explosive plays. I don't think that Jameis Winston throwing the ball 50 plus yards, it just, an outlier. Like, the Saints want to air that thing out. You know what I'm saying? Sean Payton, this man been chomping at the bit, for some explosive plays. And he liked the way that ball sailing in the air, like, and I was too, what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie about that. So I think you're gonna see some explosive plays, but I also think you're gonna see the running game. And I think you're gonna see longer runs, because now teams are going to have to respect Jameis Winston's passing ability and his ability to get the ball downfield. So you might see some longer runs than you've seen from the Saints in a very, very long time. The thing about Alvin Kamara, which makes this so special and makes him so special as a player, is that you have like 7, 8 in the box most of the time. You have guys playing man coverage, and this guy still finds open lanes in order for him to gain 5 and 6 yards on plays. And that's also a testament to the offensive line as well. When you got a quarterback that can't throw the ball over people's heads, and the defense knows that too, yet you still cracking 5 and 6 yards a clip. That's incredible. So imagine what you can do with a quarterback that people got to acknowledge the fact that he can air that ball out. I'm just saying. That's a dangerous combination. You might see Alvin Kamara be in that conversation, for like one of the top runners in the league. PJ can play cornerback. CD serves as a cornerback. Malcolm played cornerback at Ohio State. And not to mention the New Orleans Saints, the way that they play a lot of 3 safety sets anyway. They they have like guys that can, like I say, play both positions. So there's a chance that you might see Seeded Deuce, Malcolm Jenkins, Marcus Williams, PJ Williams, and Marshawn Lattimore on the field at the same time with Paulson Adebo. So, man, they play a lot of multiple safety sets, 2 and 3 safeties on the field. So there you have it. If that pass rush come through, we don't have to panic too much about the secondary. Yeah. I think Chris Richard has really done a great job too. I think Chris Richard, him being here, is not only going to help the secondary, but the defense as a whole. I think people don't give this guy a lot of credit because, Dan Quinn ended up becoming a head coach in Atlanta. Rob Marinelli was the defensive coordinator in Dallas. But if you notice, what was the one common denominator by all those teams has been Chris Richard. Chris Richard has been around there somewhere. I think that that's going to be extremely helpful. A guy like that being in your locker room is going to help a defense out a lot. So, TJ, what are your 5 most jaw-dropping NFL moments you've seen? Jaw-dropping. In a positive or a negative way. Shoot, that could go both ways, Keith Arthur. In a positive and negative way, which one you want? TJ, I heard Deontay might not be getting suspended either. Well, that's a good thing. And honestly, man, if I ain't in no spot, look, I just feel like it'll be unfair. It would be unfair that a squad, you know what I'm saying, all this time, way in June, this situation happened. And then all of a sudden, going up to week 1, you're going to decide to go ahead and lower the boom. Like with David Onyemata, when he came out there, he got suspended. It was right then and there, right? So we braced ourselves like, oh, man, he's going to be out for 6 games. Well, dude, there you have it. You know what I'm saying? But imagine, like, if you looking at your phone tomorrow and they say one of these guys gets suspended. Imagine how mad you'll be. Because you like, man, like, why they just didn't say this beforehand? So, what about what's that? Greyon Conley? Because the Saints love Ohio State players. He's a guy that's still out there. I can see that, especially those Ohio State ties. Wouldn't put it past them. I haven't seen a lot of players' interviews lately. Haven't heard from Taysom since Winston was named starter. Anyone knows where he's at regarding being a slash? Well, I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen. Sean Payton kind of alluded to that. When the question was asked about, the question wasn't even asked. He just kind of gave that information. He was like, I know some people were talking about, Taysom role changing if he becomes a starting quarterback. He was like, yeah, that'll be true. He said, but, Jameis is the quarterback. He said, I can see him, playing that role and also, being in the quarterback room. So it seems like he's going to revert back to that Swiss Army role that he had because he's a weapon. Jerry says, I can watch the Georgia Clemson and listen to you chop up some game about the Saints at the same time. What's the score of that game? Last time I checked, it was halftime and Georgia was up 7-0. But I heard Clemson, a quarterback with the funny name, wasn't really playing well. I think he had 1 interception, and the running game looked like they was absent. Looking at them stats, I'm gonna scroll down a little bit. It's not weird as money. 15 feet above sea level in the French Quarter. You said 15 feet above sea level. That's weird, ain't it? 5 days until kickoff. TJ, I think this will be 1,000 season for Alvin Kamara. Yeah, it might be. I just took 2 Tylenol. That's good to hear, Greg, but you got to get that tooth fixed, man. It's going to give you problems for a long time if you don't. TJ, I'm trying to see what package would allow P. Warner to see PT, not a whole lot considering how Zach Bourne played this preseason in the camp. I think you're going to see P. Warner probably in little bits and pieces at the beginning, but I think towards the middle of the season, when he starts to develop, I think you're gonna see him more. Do you think sometime this year during the football season we are going to be back playing in the Superdome this year? Yeah, absolutely. I can see that happening. I can see the Saints coming back. It isn't like a Hurricane Katrina type situation where the city took a huge hit. Don't get me wrong, but it was nothing on the level of Katrina. So, if we can get any type of silver lining out of those dark clouds, no pun intended, at least we know we're going to see some Saints football in New Orleans before the season is all said and done. Tim, thank you very much for the $5. Says, let me tell you, TJ, I pray my faith can be strong enough for God to brag about me like Job. I keep on saying Job. Like Job, that being said, praying for family back home is safe. Yeah, Tim, we all want our faith to, to have that type of faith. But to be honest with you, man, it can be hard. Like, I don't care how much you pray. Like, you're going to worry. You're going to get frustrated with things. And especially, like, when you putting your best foot forward, like, it's just human nature. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like, it makes you any less of a Christian or, any less of a, any less of a hardworking, dedicated person into your faith. I just think that it's just a part of human nature. I just think that it just comes with the territory. But the issue or the problem that we have to make sure that we don't have is to allow those type of situations to consume us to a point where we just completely self-destruct. So it's tough. It's tough when we go through those type of situations in our life that bring us and shake our foundation and bring us to our knees. But when we get through it, man, it just you see it so clearly. And the only thing is you wish that you would have seen it beforehand, and you're appreciative that you went through it. That's crazy, right? When I used to, when my mom used to, whoop us, she used to say, "You gonna thank me for this later." I'm like, what? Like, huh? Like, why would I thank you for this? Like, this hurt, but it turned me out, turned me to being the person I am today, right? We don't understand those things when we're going through it, but when time goes on, we understand them much better. So, Simple Life says, hey, TJ, just signed on. And as far as the corner situation, I believe the Saints should not do anything drastic. They should wait, let me see, after week 1 and even week 4 to see if the position needs an addition. Look, I think we're on the same page here. That was kind of my opening dialogue on Simple Life. Yeah, I think we're on the same page with that. Wouldn't mind getting somebody from free agency, like on a guy on a veteran minimum. I wouldn't mind that. I think that would be not too bad, but yeah, I agree with you. If you ain't rolling with Jameis Winston and the New Orleans Saints, shit, nothing. Nah, Jerry, don't be like that now. Don't tell them that they nothing, William says, I'm a new supporter, TJ. William, thank you so much, man. Thank you for being a supporter. If you want to become a supporter of the State of the Saints podcast, you can do so on Facebook and you can do so on YouTube as well. So thank you to William and so many others, that are supporters of the State of the Saints podcast. Tim, I think I already read that one. Sam says Winston kind of struggled throwing screens. That's going to be really important to get that timing down. That's a staple. Well, look, everybody can't have that touch on that. That comes with time. That comes with time. That comes with repetition. And I think that they'll get to that point. They'll get to that point, Sam. That's something that's just not to be done overnight. It's going to take some time. So I'm not going to hold that against them. I mean, Drew Brees was just magic with the screen. Like, being able to throw it at the right time, like to get guys and set up those blocks. It's like, like calculus almost. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can't do it. You know what I'm saying? It takes a special guy to do that. I just think that Drew Brees was so great at the quarterback position that it, like I said, I said this before. It kind of psychs us out and makes us believe that everybody can do what he does. Like he was so special that everybody that comes after him, if they don't do like certain things, we look at it like, like, why they can't do it. But it's like he spoiled us so much that he made like tough situations look very, very easy. Now it's like We look for every quarterback to come through the door to do that. But that's what you call raising the standard, right? Chris Richard is our future defensive coordinator. Dalton, I'm gonna go a little further. Chris Richard is a future head coach. I don't think he the Saints' future head coach, but he a future head coach. Solo Slim says 10-0 Georgia. I appreciate that score, man. Hoodie says, who do you think going to make a big impact at tight end position, Troutman or Johnson, or maybe another tight end? Both of them. Juwan Johnson, I think that he's going to be the secret weapon. I think he's going to be a matchup nightmare. Just the fact that he can run wide receiver routes and, you know what I'm saying, he has really good hands. So, you know, I mean, that's just what it is. William says, why you passing my comments, bro? Look, I think I read your comment, William, right? You say you were a supporter, right? So I appreciate that. Yeah, sometimes, you know, when we're strolling down, you know, sometimes I'm not going to always read, you know, the comments. I'm not going to always see them. You know, I do apologize for that, man. It's nothing personal. But I think I seen your comment, man. And thank you for being a supporter, if that's what the one you were talking about. I appreciate that. Did you watch Wisconsin versus Penn State game? No, I didn't. What was I doing? Yeah, man, I was man, I had the chicken in the deep fryer. You know what I'm saying? Man, sure, I went to the store. No, first I went to Lowe's. I went to Lowe's because I had to get something from there. They had like this new pressure washing trigger that I wanted to get. Then I went to Walmart. So probably around that time, that's probably what I was doing. And then your boy had to deep fry that chicken. And I must admit, your boy did his thing with that fried chicken. You know what I'm saying? Chicken was good. So, yeah, man, that's what I was doing. So I didn't get a chance to watch the game. I heard it was exciting. I don't know who won, though. But I know it was close. Like when because I was listening to the game on Sirius XM. I was listening to ESPNU. So that's why I was able to catch up with like some of the scores because I was actually listening to, you know, ESPNU, you know, their red zone. I guess it's a red zone channel, you know, for college football. Who that to the host of the State of the Saints podcast. Back to Black and Gold. Thank you so much. Tyrone says, TJ, my favorite Saints play is the score with 0 seconds and a missed field goal in 2001. That's definitely not my favorite play. Speak for yourself. I know you're speaking for yourself, but you probably the only one to say that's your favorite play. No, that's definitely not mine. Huh? I wouldn't mind if the Saints trade for a corner and sign a vet corner. I don't think it's necessary, man. LSU receivers have stone for hands. Shaking my head. Must not be going good with UCLA, right? TJ, the Dome was largely unaffected, so chances are we'll be back in the Dome in a month or week 3. Yeah, that's a good thing. I still don't see why we passed on Asante Samuel Jr. for Peyton Turner. Probably because of the way the Saints draft board lined up. And from what I hear about Peyton Turner, that might be one of those situations where we may not care about in the future. Tylenol is all right, but whiskey is way better. This many shots, you'll be sleeping like a baby. Swag fan. you ain't trying to kill no toothache. You trying to turn up, my friend. William said that was a great game. Okay, Penn State won 16-10. It was a defensive game. Well, that's a good thing. You know, is Crawley going to be out there week 1? No, he won't. If so, then we only have Lattimore and Debo. Also, I heard Patriots are still interested in trading Gilmore. If so, would you trade for him? They said it'll be like a 3rd and a 5th. I mentioned that earlier. I wouldn't try to move heaven and earth for him. If they can get him, fine. You know, that'd be great. But don't move heaven and earth for him. I mean, we don't know how this situation is going to turn out. That's my only issue about that. Chris says, sub TJ, what position is your biggest concern going into this season? I think we just kind of talked about it, but I mean, this is one, and RP3 asked me this question. Ray asked me this question. He said, you know, what I think is the biggest issue. And I said the interior alignment. You know, I think that, you know, the interior alignment is something that we have to look at. I mean, David Onyemata has really taken strides to become a really solid interior lineman. And, you know, him being out for those 6 games, you got young guys that are out there with very little experience. And I just think that that's a position you're going to have to look at. Now, the Saints can kind of do some things if it doesn't pan out. They can actually rotate some guys, maybe put Peyton Turner on a, outside and inside. That can help out. And also probably, do the same thing with Davenport to give guys like Shy Tuttle and, guys like that some help. So I just think that we have to look at the interior lineman position. My sister, thank you very much for the 1999, says, I don't know much about football, but I love you and I'm very proud of you. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And I'm proud of everything that you're doing too, man. Like I said, man, y'all check out my sister designs by Casey Lauren. You know what I'm saying? Just tell her that TJ sent you. You ain't gonna get no discount, but just tell her that TJ. Tim, thank you very much for the $10. Says, speaking of ups and downs, did you watch the Beastquake live? I remember coming home to seeing the highlights, and I instantly knew I was going to have a bad week. I ain't gonna lie about that. When that game actually happened, I was at work. I can't remember where I was working at. I don't know if I was working at CVS at the time. I think I might have just started as a manager at CVS, and I was training. And the guy that was training me, I don't think I wanted him to know I was on the phone checking like the scores or whatever like that at the time. So I think I was at work, but I was at work because I was like checking the score. You know what I'm saying? I was refreshing my phone. And I seen that what the score was, and all of a sudden, like when I refreshed it again, I seen that they scored. I'm like, how? I'm like, how did this happen? So I didn't watch that game, never watched it. Never really, like, I watched the play, like, probably like 2 times in my entire life. I try to avoid, like, heartbreaking stuff when it comes to the Saints. Like, I can't watch the Minneapolis Miracle. I can't watch the controversial 9 call. Like, those are plays that I just can't watch. Like, if I see somebody trolling the Saints or doing some stuff, using that, like, I can't see it. Like, I don't watch. Like, I can't. Blue Apples, thank you very much for the $5. Says, hey, TJ, what is your expectation with Jameis Winston this year, and how many touchdowns and interceptions will he throw? Prediction. Blue Apples, I'm extremely superstitious. I don't like calling people's stats out because I just feel like that it's kind of superstitious. I just want him to have a solid season. I just want to have him to have a solid season. I don't think he's going to throw 20 plus interceptions. I do not. I think that he's probably going to have his best career. I mean, his best stats of his career as a pro with the Saints. That's how I feel about it. That's what I will say. I won't give you the touchdown and interceptions, but I think he's going to have his best season of his career this year. TJ, what would you pay CD Deuce when it's time? I gotta, I would have to check. You have to look at the market, where the market is at that particular time. The Saints don't have to pay him, I want to say, until like next year, right? So I don't know. I got to see where the market is. I got to see where that lines up before I actually make that decision. But I probably will pay him like maybe $10 or $11 million a year, something like that for 3 years. So about 3 years, $33 million, something in that neighborhood. I think that's pretty good money for a safety. But I want to say to everybody that you can check out manscaped.com. Thank you to manscaped.com, the official sponsor of the State of the Saints podcast. Use the promo code State of Saints. You will save 20% off of your purchase. Thank you so much to Manscaped. 2 million men worldwide choose Manscaped for all their male grooming needs. So go to manscaped.com, use that promo code State of Saints. That's all one word, all lowercase letters, State of Saints. Got to love your sister. Yeah, man, I love my sister. My sister is is a really positive person. She's a hardworking person, great mother. And I will say this. Me and my sister are like a really good friends, and I value that friendship because when we were like young, what I'm saying, we kind of like went at it. I guess because we were like the 2 youngest ones. But just to get older, I think that's the best friendship that I value the most. You know what I'm saying? I value all my friendships, don't get me wrong, but me being friends with my sister, that's something that means like so much to me, because it used to be like when we are in the same room, it's awkward, right? Because we're older and it's like, what are we going to talk about? But now it's like we talk about life, we talk about family, we motivate, she motivates me. I try to motivate her, and I value the heck out of that friendship. You know what I'm saying? I can say I have a sister that's not only my sister, but my friend, and I love her. I mean, she told you, like, she does not watch football that much. I got my nephew, her son, Kalen. Y'all seen him on the wrestling show. I mean, he plays football and stuff like that. She's out there supporting him, of course, but for her to be here, and I know she's probably busy because she tending to so many people that, order from her. But to find time, I appreciate that. So, yeah. Dalton says, is Malcolm Jenkins done with the Saints? No, man. I think Malcolm had a 3-year deal with the Saints, so he still got one more year after this year. This ain't Saints related, but LSU sucks. Oh, wow. Man, what is going on here? Wait a minute. I'm sorry to do this, man, but this is like the third person that said something about LSU, man. I gotta see what's transpiring here. So they're losing. Wow. Losing to UCLA. Wow, that's not a good look right there. That's not a good look. I don't think UCLA that good. I think they're on a come up, but not that good. Slim South, TJ, I think we got a solid front seven to help out our secondary, but I think we should sign a veteran corner for depth. I think that's a good idea, Slim South. And I think that's the route that I think a lot of us that here are on the same accord with. So, is Quan going to be ready to go week 1? I haven't heard any indication that he won't be, Sam. I haven't heard any indication that he won't be. So I would assume that he would be. And plus he was dressed for the second game, even though he didn't play. I'm so excited to see Davenport wreck the entire league this year. Well, let's hope for the best on that. I mean, look, he really is being disruptive in every game, and that's all you can ask for. And hopefully we can get that season out of him that we've been wanting since the Saints drafted him in 2018. I heard a report out there that the next draft, the New Orleans Saints are looking at Ohio State quarterback. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know who said that. I guess if the season don't turn out the way that we wanted, I guess they will be looking at a quarterback, right? But I don't think that the Saints are just out there looking at quarterbacks right now. I think they're all in on Jameis Winston, and they're hoping that he can actually, do some damage in the Saints uniform. I think we should just add Drake Kirkpatrick and not have to give up anything. I'm on board with that inevitable. I'm on board with not having to give up anything, because when you're trying to restock, reload, rebuild, or whatever you want to call the read that the Saints are doing, you want to make sure that you're not losing anything and you're gaining more than you're losing, right? So I do agree with that. Get somebody that's a veteran that can give you production off the street before you're going out here trying to get some guy that's probably disgruntled at a team that he's on right now that wants more money, and come to your team when you know for a fact that you're not going to be able to pay him the money that he's looking for on his previous team. So got to look at it that way. Malcolm Jenkins is old, bro. That's why I was asking. Yeah, Malcolm Jenkins is old. He is the oldest player on the Saints team, but he's a leader. He hasn't missed a game in 7 years. And look, he's a really tough guy. He's like a extra coach out there on the field. So as long as he's still productive, as long as he's making tackles, as long as he's communicating, as long as he's not missing assignments left and right, I mean, he started off a little rough at the beginning of the season, but how bad was that game? I mean, Darren Waller was cooking that boy, but when you look at how good Darren Waller is, how bad was that really? Like, how bad was that? Like looking at Darren Waller out there, do him dirty. I mean, Darren Waller do a lot of people dirty. So who you got in the FAMU Jackson State game? Come on, man. Come on, bro. Come on, Jerry. Seriously. I don't care if Jackson State playing Alabama. I'm going with Jackson State. I'm rolling with my squad. I don't care who it is. Okay. I got Jackson State by 40. Every game. Not saying they're going to win by 40 tomorrow. I'm saying I got them by 40 every game. I would absolutely give a third and a fifth for Gilmore. Man, you got to look at what this is, though, man. Like, Gilmore is disgruntled, 504 Hot Boy. He's disgruntled because he's not getting a contract. Like, he wants more money. What's the biggest issue that the Saints have right now? Money. You know, like, so you basically giving up a third and a fifth round pick for 1 year. That's not a good idea. That's not a good idea, man. That's all I'm saying. Like, the guy is not satisfied with the money that New England is giving him. The Saints are struggling to pay guys that like Mike Marcus Williams, like Marshawn Lattimore. You got other guys that need to get paid. So giving a third and a fifth for 1 year, no, that's not a good thing. You losing a third and a fifth for a guy that's going to free agency and you're not going to be able to pay. Nah, I don't think that's a good idea, man. Ohio State rookie quarterback looked iffy. Well, he probably was nervous. He'll get better as time go on, I'm sure. Why would the Saints go for a quarterback if Winston doesn't do good? Give Ian Book an opportunity. Yeah, man. A lot of teams want Ian Book. That's a good one too. You know, I like some things I seen out of Ian Book. I ain't gonna lie to you. Sam was talking about that screen pass. You know, Ian Book ain't got no problem with that. That man got really good touch on that screen pass. I will say that's one thing that I noticed about Ian Book that stood out. That he's a really good screen pass thrower. TJ Rogers called that game. He was there and called the refs. Also, why Roger always tried to make an example of us. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if we just don't fit the status quo or he just don't like us. I don't know. But he needs to stop it. I don't even bother watching major media sports talk about the Saints. They're all reading from the same book full of lazy information. Yeah, man. I mean, they have like this stigma about these teams and they just go to the crates. It don't matter if the team got better, if the team has, gotten worse. They gonna always follow that same formula. Except when it comes to the Cowboys, they'll do their due diligence there. They got to look in the mirror and, do all the emotions in their face about how they're going to project how the Cowboys blew it on Sunday. That's how they do it there. But when it comes to these other teams, they don't really try that hard, to try to give you that type of information, unless that information is for them to go ahead and try to transition to some Cowboy talk. So if the Saints play the Cowboys, they're going to talk about the Saints to transition to the Cowboys. Then they'll probably talk 3 minutes about the Saints. And if it's a 15-minute segment, 3 minutes about the Saints, 12 minutes about the Cowboys. That's just how it works. Daniel says, TJ, do you think the Saints will play more man of zone in week 1 against the Packers? That's a good question. That's a good question. I would have to look at that. I would have to look at it. I would have to look at what they did last time. They played a lot of man coverage in that last game, but Devontae Adams didn't play. So I can see them. I can see them in man coverage. I think that they trust Marshawn Lattimore to go out there and go up against Adams. I can see them playing man coverage. I can see that. But I think they're gonna play some. I think they're gonna play some zone. I think they're probably gonna play some zone in that one. Yeah, I mean they can. You know what I'm saying? They can play man. I think they got the guys to do it, but I think they're gonna play zone. I that's a good question though. That's a good question. TJ, I think the NFL keeps giving us Green Bay early to try to give us an early loss. That way we can have the tiebreaker for playoff seeding. Well, the Saints got to beat them then. That's the way that you solve that problem. Stop starting starting late, start starting early. Start winning these games early. Look, these are the teams that you're going to be playing in the playoffs, right? That's why I will get like, man, I don't want to play them. Like, if they're good, you're going to end up playing them eventually, right? So, I mean, these are the teams that you're going to have to go up against. These are the teams that you're going to have to play. So, play them right now, beat them, and and see what the rest happens. Let's see. We have had secondary issues under most of Sean Payton's tenure. Yeah, we have, but over the last couple of years, I have to say, man, I've been very impressed with this secondary, and I think all of us have. And it felt good to when a play action pass, when they fake out the camera, or the camera sees the ball going downfield and they start slowing the camera as they transition, and you praying and hoping that somebody down there and it's not wide open. Like it's good to know that you got some guys down there that can make some plays. Debo can be a nice number 2, but if we can get Gilmore, Debo would be elite depth. Like I say, man, I'm not trying to move heaven and earth for a guy that's going to be here for 1 year. A 5th round pick, maybe. If the Saints can get a 5 if they can trade a 5, yeah. 3rd, no. Nah, because I think you can easily like jump back to get a 5th round pick or but nah, man, I ain't trying to give up no 3rd round pick. 3rd round picks are Alvin Kamara. I'm saying, shoot, 3rd round picks are Trey Hendrickson. Y'all gotta understand what that is. 3rd round picks are Paulson or Debo. Come on, man. Y'all people like, man, you gotta look at what a 3rd round pick actually is, folks. Y'all gotta look at this thing. You know what I'm saying? That's what a 3rd round pick is. So it's not like, oh man, we losing the 3rd round pick. I gave y'all some very big difference makers on the Saints team over the last couple of years that came in the 3rd round. So for people that like, I give up a 3rd, really? You would? I don't know about that, bro. I don't know about that. 3rd round been good to the Saints over the last couple of years, man. I'm trying to. I gotta see. I gotta take a look. Cause let's see. Like I said, 3rd round, they done got Alvin Kamara out that thing. I think CJ Gardner-Johnson was in the 4th round, if I ain't mistaken. But like I said, Trey Hendrickson, Alvin Kamara, Paulson Adebo. So I ain't trying to give up no 3rd round pick. TJ, we can't beat anyone. I just know the NFL is underhanded. They give us bye weeks real early in the season too. Man, look, I just want look. All I know is this. We have to be careful with that. I understand that we feel a certain way about the NFL. I really do. But we really gotta be careful, man, because if we know our team, like they whole objective is just to get screwed over every single year. Why do we watch this? Like, I think it's frustrating, right? Because it feels like they have this agenda, and sometimes I really feel like they do. But I really feel like in some cases, man, the Saints kind of bring these type of situations on themselves. Like, we can't sit up here and pretend like the Saints didn't have opportunities to win these games in the playoffs. Like, we can't, right? It can come down to a last possession or whatever like that, but the Saints did some things in those games that cost them the game. And for us to sit up here and pretend like that don't happen, I just feel like that's a little bit of a stretch, right? We can easily count on just one play and be like, oh man, that's the reason why we lost. But no, we got to look at the interceptions, the turnovers, the missed field goals, the drops, the guys, missing assignments. I thought you had them. Oh, I thought you had them. You got to look at that type of stuff. And all that stuff leads up to those last 2 minutes where you're tied or you're down by 3. And I can tell you right now, you look at that Philadelphia Eagles game in the divisional round, the Saints were down 14-0, right? Drew Brees threw an interception early in that game. Nick Foles, they scored I want to say 2 touchdowns, 2 straight possessions. So, the Saints had to come back in that game. And we all know that year, the Saints beat Philly to sleep. So if you are that team, you don't mess around and play around with those other teams. You go out there and you impose your will on those guys, and you win the game. So I just think that it just puts our mind at ease sometimes to be able to blame somebody else. But I'm not going to sit up here and say that they may not have these agendas, but I will say that the Saints brought a lot of these situations on themselves. So if Roger Goodell pushed the Saints off the cliff, the Saints were close enough to the cliff to get pushed off. Unless somebody gonna tell me, like, the fix is in, and the Saints just did all these things in order for them to get screwed. But if that's the case, then I don't want to watch football anymore. I don't want to watch football. If the team knows that they about to get screwed and the knife is in the back, I don't want to watch football no more. I want to say C.J. Gardner-Johnson was a fifth. Don't remember though. I don't remember either. If somebody feel like Googling that, let me know. C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I say fourth. Inevitable says fifth. Let's get Google and let's verify that. Marcus Williams was a third rounder, I believe. Was he? I thought he wasn't a second round pick. Marcus Williams was a second round pick, wasn't he? Yeah, he was, because Marshawn Lattimore was first. Marcus Williams was a second round pick, wasn't he? Because Alvin Kamara was a third round pick, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, yeah, he was a fourth round. So we're saying C.J. Gardner-Johnson was a fourth round inevitable. Yeah, but I mean, look. Yeah, but I think Marcus Williams was a second round pick. Marshawn Lattimore and Ryan Ramczyk were first round picks. And Marcus Williams was a second round pick. Yeah, because he came out of Utah. See, 7 linebackers made the 53-man roster, but if he was the only allowed to pick 4, who would those 4 players be for you? 7 linebackers who made the 53. Oh, 4? I mean, look. Hoodie Jew, give me a harder question, man. Mario Davis, Quan Alexander, Zach Bond, Pete Warner. You gotta give me a harder one than that, man. Andrew Dowell was probably gonna play on special teams. Wyndon McManus, I do feel like he's probably gonna be on the practice squad. They might add him to special teams as well. Yeah, man. Yeah, and Chase Hansen, if I'm mistaken, they got Hansen on the team too. So yeah, man. Yeah, that was a pretty easy one right there. I mean, you can't go wrong with the Mario Quine. You got to go with your second round pick and Pete Warner. And Zach Bond has been playing out his mind. If preseason is going to indicate anything, if it's indicating anything, what you're going to see in the season, I think the Saints straight at linebacker. Big Sean says, I agree, TJ. We really need to stop the refs from deciding the outcome of games. That's all I'm saying. I get it, Ken. I get it. What King Arthur is saying is frustrating as a fan, as a like to watch these type of situations seem like they happen to the Saints. But like I said, the Saints, to me, if I know somebody does not have my best interest at heart, I'm not going to even allow them to be close to me. You know what I'm saying? In order for them to perform, or go out there and try to inflict they bad intentions. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to even allow you to do it. So I just feel like if the Saints don't want these type of situations to happen, go out there and beat the team to sleep. Like win by 10, 7, 17. I mean, you gotta allow these situations to happen to you, man. Don't allow the knife to go into the back, right? You know what I'm saying? Like don't let don't let nobody come up in there and and cut you while you sleep. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that. Let's see. Kendall says TJ. Kendall also says Marcus was a second round pick. Yeah, I thought so. Marcus Williams tackling Manti Te'o's girlfriend in the Vikings game was sad. Yeah, man, it wasn't the best thing in the world, but he's become a much better player since then, though. I think we can agree with that. Dan Arnold should have caught that touchdown. Lord, inevitable, don't get me started on that. That third down pass, man, he dropped that thing. He was sitting on the sidelines at the end. Yes, my friend, that would have helped. I ain't gonna say it was all on you. I ain't gonna say it was all on you, but it would have helped. Keynote to say, I agree with y'all. We should have never had those games close enough for the refs to change the outcome. But if the ref crew decides to throw a flag or damn near every scoring play or big play, what can you do? Yeah, man. I mean, look, in that particular situation, I think they looking for the drama, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel like I feel like, okay, if a team is like probably beating up on another team and they look like, oh man, well, this team just ain't having it today. But if they feel like the game is going to be close, you'll probably see some flags. You'll probably see it. But I think in tight games like that, it's the playoffs, bigger ratings, more people are watching that game more so than they would and if that team was playing, you know, in the regular season. You got more eyes on the product, casual fans watching this. You know, and if a team tied at 17 with another team, you know, let's throw a couple flags here. Let's make this thing interesting, right? So we can have Monday morning quarterback and have some controversial talk and have all these talking heads busting veins in the side of their neck to talk about how their team was screwed. We all know about the whole Dallas Cowboy thing, right? No, I don't like the Dallas Cowboys. I really don't. People know how I feel about them. Rest in peace to Brian Bruno Jackson, who was a huge Dallas Cowboy fan. He was down in New Orleans. He was one of the guys I mentioned earlier in the show that passed away of COVID. But I will say this, in that Green Bay Packers game divisional round, Dez Bryant did catch that football. But, I mean, the referees, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, and now it's like every time you talk to a Cowboy fan, that was a catch. The same thing with the, same thing with the Saints, man. That was pass interference. So I do feel like when the games are close, you know, the referees start to show up, you know, make their appearance, you know, make the game a little bit more interesting. Tulane is better than LSU this year as far as first impressions go. Yeah. Let me see. 21-10. Looks like. Is my mic going in and out, y'all? I apologize, man. I apologize. My mic going in and out. But yeah, I'm about to go ahead and wrap this thing up. Finish watching this LSU game. You know, for all those that are watching it live, LSU is playing right now, losing 21-10. The L Train had a terrible preseason, but I feel like he's gonna prove a point running that rock. Well, I mean, Tony Jones Jr. on his tail right now, so he might want to. He might want to do something about that. Just saying, TJ, the NFL buy games, and those boys work too hard to get to where they are, only for someone with monetary interest to take it from them. I agree with you. You ain't about to get no argument from me with that. But I'm just saying, like, you got to stop making it easy for these guys to take it away from you. That's all I'm saying. Like, you can't, like, if you notice, this is not like the first time this has happened. Right? You got to take it away from them. You cannot put it in the hands of the referees. I'm sorry. Like, yeah, if they would have called pass interference, if Nikel Roby-Coleman hit Tommy Lee Lewis, they would have called pass interference. The game would have been over. The Saints would have won. We would have went to the Super Bowl in Atlanta. We would have been laughing. We probably would have beat the Patriots the way the Rams played them. I mean, I'm pretty sure that the Saints would have put up a bigger fight than that. But yeah, man, like I get it, but man, hindsight is 2020, and I can't, like, we can't dwell on it. Like, we'll lose our minds, like, still talking about 2018. Like, I'm looking towards the future. Like, I'm not like some of these other people that are out here. Like, I really feel like the Saints have a chance to win it all this year. I ain't saying they're gonna win it all, but I think this is a like, for a long time, like, I feel if the Saints were to go to the playoffs and they need to make explosive plays in order to, like, run away with a football game, they can do it. Like, I couldn't say that. As much as I love Drew, I could not say that. Like, the Saints would have to play perfect on both sides of the football in order for them to win a lot of those games. Like, now I just feel like if they were to go into the postseason relatively healthy, Michael Thomas in hand, Jameis Winston with the ability to throw the ball down the field, Alvin Kamara out there running and slicing up defenses, and you had Latavius Murray as a sledgehammer. Bruh, like I'm telling you, this team can win. It can't win it all. I'm serious. Like if Jameis Winston can go out there and really just cut his turnovers in half from 30 interceptions to 15, and he throw he throw over 25 to 30 touchdowns. Like, you can't tell me that the Saints can't go to the Super Bowl. This team is structured to win. As much as people want to try to count these guys out and talk about depth and they ain't got this and that and they ain't got Drew Brees no more, bruh, this team is in a good position because they're well coached, they're well disciplined, and a lot of these guys that are young on this team has been with this team about 4-5 years. How many guys can say some of the best guys on your team are seasoned veterans and they under the age of 26 or 25 years old and they've been in the league 4-5 years and they some of your best players? How many can say that? Usually, like, some of your best players, if they're on your team, they probably like 28, 29, 30, maybe. This is a young team, battle-tested team. And they done been through they done lost in almost every heartbreaking fashion imaginable that a football player can lose. I'm in. I'll be ripping them, says you ain't mentioned my farts even once. I'll be ripping them. Thank you very much for the $2. We mentioning your farts now, man. Let's see. And we'll finish it up. We'll finish it up with Sam. Sam says, I think the Rams and Saints are going to be the last two standing in NFC. Stafford wins MVP. He's that good, and he's got a real coach and supporting cast. Look, man, you ain't gonna get no problem from me, Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford, as of right now, as it sits, is my second favorite quarterback in the National Football League. All right, you know what I'm saying? My first is Russell Wilson, okay, and Russ I trust. All right, and the next is Matthew Stafford. I like Matthew Stafford a lot. Matthew Stafford has been through some mediocrity and some straight hot garbage out there in Detroit. Hopefully Dan Campbell and Eric and Glenn can get it turned around as a coaching staff. But I'm rooting for Matthew Stafford. All right. I mean, not when he played the Saints, if you know what I'm saying, if they end up going to the playoffs, of course I'm not rooting for him to win, but Matthew Stafford deserves some level of success, man. He earned it. The dude is a good human being, works hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, all the things that he went through personally, like with his wife. I think his wife had to get like brain surgery or something like that, if I'm not mistaken, and still had to go out there and maintain and be a leader on his football team. Look, I ain't got nothing but respect for Matthew Stafford. I wish him all the best. And I think with him, along with Sean McVay, I think that the Rams are finally going to have something there that they haven't gotten with Jared Goff, not on a consistent basis, rather. But I want to say thank you all for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. Really do appreciate your time. Be sure to check out the State of the Saints podcast on the Pigskin Podcast Network. If you're not a fan of the New Orleans Saints, there is a representative of your favorite team. All 32 teams are represented on the Pigskin Podcast Network. I have the extreme pleasure to be the Saints representative, a brand new network in the first year of their inception. And I'm really excited about, assisting to help the network grow. So if you can, you want to support the State of the Saints podcast, check out the audio podcast on the Pigskin Podcast Network. Also, Facebook.com, search the State of the Saints podcast. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. On your way out, please hit the thumbs up. Let everybody know that you like the State of the Saints podcast. Previous episodes available on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor FM. It is brought to you by Manscaped.com. The State of the Saints podcast is brought to you by Manscaped.com. Use the promo code State of Saints, and you'll save 20% off of your purchase. And I got to plug Twitter, TJ Jones 8 on Twitter. Till next time, all I got to say is, who dat?